Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
And it's time once again
to recommend some stuff.
Indeed. Vince, what are you recommending?
I'm recommending a DVD. A DVD by a man named Eddie Izzard. It's Eddie Izzard Dressed to Kill. It is a stand-up comedy DVD. Eddie Izzard is a British man who took this Dressed to Kill tour to England, in America, Paris. So he tried stand-up comedy in France, and apparently stand-up comedy doesn't work very well in France. so because French people are French, and they don't like stand-up comedy, according to Eddie Izzard. So I don't know. I've never been to France, but I've never been to England either. But I have seen this, and it is.
We
pretty
have
good.
any French viewers? They hate you now, especially if they like stand-up comedy.
They're like, "What are you talking about? I love stand-up comedy. Why do I sound like Vince right now?"
That's a terrible French accent.
See if I can do a French accent.
No,
hello.
Don't even.
I'm French for walking. Anyway, that was stupid. So I recommend this stand-up comedy act, Eddie Izzard Dressed to Kill. I mean, what do you say about a stand-up comedy act without giving away a lot of the jokes? But Eddie Izzard...
Well, he's super popular. I mean, most people know who he is.
This one, I recommend this one, because I've seen some of the others, and they don't even hold a candle to this one. This is the best of the group as far as I'm concerned. And Eddie Izzard, he does this, like, I'm cute and bouncy type of thing that he tries to bring to every one of his stand-ups, or at least that I've seen. And this is the one where it actually works. So I recommend Dressed to Kill.
So you don't like him most of the time, or?
I've seen two of his other stand-up acts, and they weren't funny.
Okay.
Like, this thing's clever.
I think that's probably the one I've seen, because it was one I saw that I thought was really funny, so maybe it was that one.
This one's really funny. This one's clever, and some of the other ones are just more like, look at me, I'm kind of a show-off and goofy and strange. And there was one where he wore a bustier or something that had a place for breasts, and it wasn't funny. He just kept talking about it for the first 8-10 minutes. And
weird.
I got bored really fast. But I think that's what it is for me. I didn't think it was funny and I got bored. But this one is funny and I never got bored. And I wish that the rest of them were like this, but alas, they are not.
I have this thing with Eddie Izzard where, because his stand-up, he always wears these elaborate costumes, and he usually cross-dresses, or at the very least wears lipstick and stuff. Every time he's in a movie, I never know it's him. It just never occurs to me that's Eddie Izzard, and there have been times where I've talked about a movie somewhere, and somebody, either a conversation or on a video, I think there's been videos where I've talked about a movie where he's in it, and somebody's been like, why are you talking about Eddie Izzard? And I'm like, oh, he was in that? Like, I just somehow never... In fact, I think it was in Mystery Men, and I didn't even notice him. Like, I was like, oh, that was Eddie Izzard? Okay.
He was one of the disco guys, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 movies that popped to mind for me with Eddie Izzard is...
He does a lot of voiceovers, and I never know it's him.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But, it's...
Or at least I know he's done a couple big ones.
Not including stand-up, there's My Super Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, he's in that?
Yeah, he plays the evil genius guy.
Oh, cool. Okay, I still haven't seen that.
And,
but I will eventually do a rewind on it, so I guess I'll talk about Eddie Izzard. And I will make a point to go, that was Eddie Izzard.
Look at him. He looks just like that guy because he is that guy. So, Mystery Men, and then Across the Universe, because he kind of got a crappy role in that.
Never seen that either.
It's, I recommend
I know what it
Across the
is.
Universe.
I've just never seen it. Yeah, I was meant to watch that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my extremely vague but vehement recommend to everybody in French for Walking Land.
Should probably mention he's pretty vulgar, right?
Well, it's stand-up comedy. There's gonna be some vulgarities. He's not quite as bad as, say, George Carlin or Richard Pryor or something.
I just like to mention it for our younger viewers, you know what I mean? Like, when you got somebody who curses a lot and that sort of thing.
It never occurred to me.
I do like to mention it, but, yeah. But anyway,
well,
it's not that important, but I seem to remember him being a big, F-bomber and stuff like that, but...
This is not rated, and I forget how profane it is because it was so funny that and it was such a style of humor that I think didn't necessarily need profanity, so I think I just kind of faded it into the back of my mind.
It's not important. I just like to mention it sometimes just in case.
Yeah, you might be careful about it for some of you guys who are not able to buy DVDs like that. Anyway.
I mean, your last recommend, you were like, most of you shouldn't watch this, so...
Yeah.
If you're going to put that as a... By the way, for just one second I want to mention this. I watched that movie.
You watched
Henry? Portrait of a Serial Killer. It was on Netflix.
Oh, yeah?
So I watched it. at 2 in the morning. That was a terrible idea.
Was that
late
right?
at night? I didn't sleep real well after that. Yeah.
What did I tell you?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, like, it wasn't as hard to watch as I thought it was going to be, but it was disturbing.
That's the thing, is it's not gory.
And I was disturbed by things I didn't expect to be disturbed by. You know what I mean? Like, there were scenes that were really rough that didn't bother me as much as other things. The TV on the guy's head, that bothered me. That was like... That bothered me. You remember that?
That's actually not really.
Oh, okay, all right.
But
there's that scene where they go to buy a TV.
Oh.
And the guy in the TV, he's a jerk.
Right.
He's just really mean to them. And they're like we want that TV, and he's like, that's black and white, and they're like, we don't want a black and white TV. How much money do you have on you? $50. And then they start asking about like the more expensive TVs, and he's like, you go all this way, and make me talk about all this stuff, and you don't have enough money to buy it, and then he pushes them so far that they do terrible things to him, and it was ugh. Anyway,
it's a more complicated, interestingly creepy movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest compliment a horror movie can get, is like highly disturbing. I think that's what it is.
Well, I know we were just talking about a recommend we did last week because I just hadn't mentioned that to Vince yet, and the reason I'm stretching this out is because my recommend this week, I have nothing to talk about it. I'm just going to show it to you and say you should buy this. Today, I'm going to recommend the Mighty Mugg's Thanos.
Isn't he cute?
And I don't know what else to say about him. He's Thanos, and I got him for a really fantastic deal and got really excited. I found him out of the box, but he's in like really great shape, so I bought him, and I got him for $5, Vince. Yeah, I know.
You know, it's the same shape as my Hulk. What do you know?
They all are. They're all the same shape. That's the thing. They're just all about painting the same figure over and over again. But anyway, I really like him. I think he looks awesome, and it's a really great paint job because that's what they're about, is good paint jobs, and the yellow really pops out. And he's Thanos, and I love Thanos. And I was excited because, I'm not a giant fan of Mighty Muggs. I actually don't have any besides this one. I had a Hulk, and I gave it to Vince because I didn't really think it was the best design. Like, I didn't really care for the Hulk, and I knew Vince was a big Hulk fan, so I gave it to Vince. But this was the only Mighty Mugg I've been looking for, and I found it, and I bought it, and it was great. So anyway, yeah, that's all I had to say about mine.
You know what's funny is that all these like monies and dunny things, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it's another one of these little creatures that you can buy white and then paint them up.
Oh, okay.
But those guys, I don't care about. The Mighty Muggs, I like the Mighty Muggs, and I love it when people do custom Mighty Muggs.
Yeah, that's fun. Do they make those where you can just buy a blank one and do them up?
You can just buy a blank Mighty Mugg. Yep.
That's fun.
I think if you go to Astro Kitty, they have Astro Kitty in Lawrence, Kansas. They have a painted Mighty Mugg that's there just to be like, look at me, I'm an original character. So it's kind of neat.
That is neat. We should do a Vince one. we should do a Dooms Vince one.
We should do a Captain Logan one.
Put them together, and then we should do like a G&N where we just make them talk.
Yeah, we could pretend like we're playing with toys, and while we're pretending that we're playing, we will actually be playing with toys
and shooting it on a video, and making people watch it.
Yeah,
and they will.
And you guys will be sitting there like, man, why are we watching this? And then you'll watch 10 minutes, and you're like, those toys had a good point.
Well, thanks everybody for watching us recommend things. We'll recommend something for you once again next week. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.